come on in the room. Yeah, that's what you like to do, Chris King. You gotta stow them trade tables up with the Milwaukee Bucks because they took flight tonight. I know your Dayton Flyers didn't take flight, but the Milwaukee Bucks took flight. Come on in the room. Bucks win it. My bad, dog. My Bucks
It's
win it
that
one.
bad. It's that bad. We couldn't afford, man. Yeah, I'm not in the best of
uh,
spirits, but thanks, Bucks. You
hey,
got to win.
listen. The
Oh
Bucks win.
man,
Hey,
here we
that's
go.
it. We try to pick it up for the Dayton Flyers post game. We're gonna pick it up for you. The Bucks do it 120-84 over the Charlotte Hornets. Come on in the room. Doc is our doctor. He writes all of our scriptures. He gives us our medicine in our room. Bucks win it 120-84 over the Charlotte Hornets. Look, man, this is a much needed victory. This was a much needed victory. I don't care if it's the Charlotte Hornets. I understand that they are trash. They're as trash as trash gets. But you could tell. Because I mean, look at the Portland Trailblazers are trash, and the Bucks couldn't take care of them. You could tell this looked like a game tonight where the Bucks they felt like a team that needed a victory. And Charlotte on a lot of nights, a Hornets team or a bad basketball team could come in and meet the Milwaukee Bucks, and or any good team. And when you meet those good teams, you're able to kind of play up to the competition. They may play down to you. They may be looking past you because the Bucks played Denver on Monday night. That could be something that you're looking past. But tonight was not one of them nights. And you come in losing 4 of your last 5. And the Charlotte Hornets were bullseye and squared away. We are live. It's the Cream City crossover. It's Guru Trey Crosby III.
JT.
Chris King.
Chris still mad over
Hey,
the Flyers.
Chris King.
Hey, listen, they gonna get to the March Madness. It's all right. They're gonna be in March Madness. You can get your comments in at TCIIESQ on the Twitter. You can also get at us on the YouTube as well. We're gonna try and hold this show shorter than normal, just because. Listen, man, let's get in, let's get out. Let's go to bed. Super Bowl's coming up this weekend. Let's get in, let's get out of this thing. Real quick, again, the Bucks win it 120-84. We have to start this thing off by doing a little game recap. Sponsored by the law office of Daily M. Johnson. When you need defense off the court, where the Bucks had it on the court and off the court tonight. The law office of Daily M. Johnson, serving Central and South Central Wisconsin. You need to call him for all your criminal defense, your traffic and OWI defense, your temporary restraining orders and injunctions, all of that. Call my guy, the law office of Daily M. Johnson, 608-893-8370. Whatever you do, I know it's Friday night. 608-893-8370. If you get in any trouble, go to his website, www.dmjlaw.com. Sign up for a free phone or in-person consultation. That is, and like I said, he sponsors Law Office Daily M. Johnson, sponsoring your game recap. Tonight's game recap, pretty easy. I mean, everybody had really good nights. Damian Lillard with 26 and 8. Malik Beasley puts up 21 points, 7 of 9, shooting overall, 7-9 from 3. He does that. Brook Lopez with 11 and 7. Giannis puts up 15 and 15. Real chill night for him. Jay Crowder hit his first 3 and then had struggled after that. He was 1 for 7. Bobby Portis looked good, 18 and 7. Pat Connaughton with 5 points. Patrick Beverly. We got to talk about Pat Beasley. Pat Beverly, the energy that he brought was dynamic to the floor tonight. 6 points, 4 assists, and sometimes that's all it is. You can put up 6 points and 4 assists, but you can change the impact and the tone and the tenor of a basketball game by your presence, and that's the kind of guy Pat Beverly is. AJ Green, after being so hot last night, was 1 of 9 from 3 tonight. Andre Jackson gets 13 minutes. Thanasis gave you a little sham guy action, and then Marjan Beauchamp. We got to talk about him too. Thanasis actually had more minutes on the floor than Marjan. Sounds like looks like he's a done product, it seems like, in Milwaukee. We'll see what happens. For the Charlotte Hornets, not much to talk about. Brandon Miller has 16 and 6. I'll say this, and I know we'll talk about how Jay Crowder didn't have a great game, but Miles Bridges coming into tonight had 2 straight games of 40 points. He had back-to-back 40-point games, and tonight the Bucks hold him to 11 points, 5 boards, 3 assists. He was 2 of 16 from the field. So I thought that I thought that Jay Crowder did a really good job. And listen, man, what's today's date? It's the
February 9th.
It's the 9th. Okay, so he was a little ahead of us, shooting 2 of 16. Cody Martin, 5 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. Just nothing really to talk about. JT Thor on the team, but just a bunch of guys, just a bunch of randoms that the Hornets had. They could not do anything with the Bucks tonight. 120-84. The Hornets will do have some reinforcements that are coming. I think Seth Curry's on the way. And they got a couple guys they got to get back that because they made some trades. Okay, yeah, they traded from the Gordon Hayward trade too. But yeah, listen, man, tonight was a great night for the Milwaukee Bucks. Doc Rivers, and again, it's an NBA team. You hold the Charlotte Hornets to 84 points. You finally get a win. Doc is what now 2-5 in 7 games of coaching the Bucks, and so he needed this one bad. You can talk about the energy that Pat Beverly gave. He came in, hit a 3 as soon as he got in the game. I mean, the Bucks up 40, and Pat Beverly is defending 80. He's defending 94 feet. That's the type of guy he is, man. And so Malik Beasley shot the ball well. Everything came together. I think early in the game, the Bucks didn't shoot it well, and it was a little bit closer than it probably should have been. But once those threes started to fall, it was just lights out for the Hornets. And then, Damian Lillard, I thought he passed the ball extremely well tonight. He had no turnovers, 8 assists, 0 turnovers tonight for Damian Lillard. That was big, and it showed his playmaking skills. What Dame shoot 9 of 18. He was still 2 of 8 from 3. His shot still isn't falling from deep, but he gave you some of that quick burst. He gave you some of those passes that were good. And again, you get eight assists, no turnovers. I'll take that every day of the week. The Bucks were just, listen, they outclassed the Charlotte Hornets tonight. And I think that the best part about it was they really didn't take their foot off the gas. And it was a night that you need to go get a win. You went and got a win. You didn't take your foot off the gas. I know it's the Hornets, but again, you got to go out and beat them. So give the Bucks some credit tonight, 120-84. That's what I saw. JT, what'd you see?
Well, this was we talked about how the Bucks played had a really slow first quarter a few games ago, right? I believe the Bucks only had 20 points in the first quarter. Well, look, Charlotte one-upped us. They put up 17 points in the first quarter, which is absolutely pitiful. Nothing short of abysmal. So Charlotte really stumbled out the gate. That being said, I like what I saw from the Bucks tonight. Right, I thought this team shot well. I thought this team shot efficiently. Charlotte Hornets in the first half, they didn't have a single player in double figures. Right now, conversely, I think they finished with 5 players in double figures, and the Bucks did too. But one thing I agree with you on this, the Bucks came out from the jump. It was 66-38 at the half. They just did not let up. Right, they kept pummeling them, and I thought that was very, very, very important. We talk about it. What's that saying you have, Trey? Sometimes a team been known to play with the food a little bit, right? But tonight, that was not going to happen, and it ended up being an efficient shooting night for the entire team. You talked about Damian Lillard going 2 for 8 from 3-point line. Not great, but keep in mind, Damian Lillard was 4 for 11 at halftime from the field. He finished at 9 for 18. So he picked it up a little bit, kind of figured that thing out to go ahead and finish at 50% from the field. But, a really good, efficient night for most of the starters, not named Jay Crowder, right? Giannis at 5 for 10, Brook at 4 for 9, Dame at 9 for 18, and Malik Beasley for 7 for 9. Shout out to Malik Beasley, because the other night we said, man, you're not helping us. If them shots aren't falling, you're not helping us. We can't rely on you. I want to talk about Pat Beverly for a second. I'm going to kick it to Chris, and I think Chris may get to this a little bit more. But Patrick Beverly, I got to admit, I was not familiar with his game. And what I mean is I knew what he did as a player. I knew his impact. But watching him on this Bucks team, I like it, right? And I like it for what he does on the court and he does off the court. I like the fact that Patrick Beverly is hustling and just does not hustle. And like you said, he was pressed 94 feet, and it was the fourth quarter when he was doing that. And I think on one of the times, I think Andre Jackson Jr. ended up getting the steal.
Yep.
And so you really saw that. And you talked about Patrick Beverly having a PJ like impact on the squad. At the time, I was like, yeah. And I said, well, that may get up, but no. You know what? You 100% right there. I could definitely see that happening. But man, I'm gonna kick it to Chris to talk a little more about Pat Bev.
Yeah, I think he just provides something that the Bucks have been missing in terms of being able to defend on the perimeter, and then also being able to come off the bench and then kind of, I guess, run a little bit of the offense. So I think Pat Bev did a good job, especially just being off of a flight probably to Milwaukee either last night or this morning. So good to see a guy who has that tenacity, who can come in and make an impact right away. I'm glad that was the trade that they were able to get done, because it could have been nothing. We could have ended that deadline with nothing. And so I'm glad that he's here, and that does fill a need that we ultimately were concerned about, is just perimeter defense. So I'm excited to see more like tough guards that we're going to have to defend, and Pat is going to have to kind of play a bigger role in that in defense. But tonight, obviously, just a great first impression for Pat Bev. And then just talking about Malik Beasley going 7 of 9, I mean, yeah, the inconsistencies have been there in the past couple of games, but if that's the guy you're going to get, and if you can work him maybe off the bench here soon, if Pat Bev maybe jumps in, or Jay Crowder, or whatever happens, and I think that'll be huge for the Bucks team, because you don't need him shooting more than 10 shots a game, but you also do need that 3-point spark.
Yeah, no, and I think if he's shooting the ball well, you're in real great shape. We talk about Malik Beasley. Patrick Beverly tweets out after the game, "Belt to ass tour starts in Milwaukee." So that's Patrick Beverly's line. It's belts to asses, and hey, but that's what I'm talking about. That's the type of guy. And John, I don't know if we said this on air. We were talking before, like the guy we said this on the last show. A guy you hate to play against, but you want him in the fox. You want a guy like that in the foxhole with you, like that. Like tonight, I mean, he took the clipboard from Doc. Doc had to take his damn clipboard back. Man, Pat is one of those guys that's just, he brings the energy, and he's not going to let you have. You can be having a bad day or a bad night or just a ho hum. Yeah, who cares? He's not gonna. He's one of those guys that's not going to let the energy ever fall too low. And he's gonna hold guys accountable. And that's it's PJ Tucker light. Can he defend, 2 through 5 like PJ? No, but he's going to give you the effort. He's going to give you the hustle. And I also think he's just to be the type of, and that's the other reason, I really like him, because the type of guy he is, he's not some great shooter. He's not some elite offensive player. He hustles and he has a lot of tenacity on defense, but he doesn't use his size to beat you defensively. He's not an overly strong guy or big guy. It's his mind. And so Patrick Beverly is one of the smart. He has some of the highest basketball IQ, because to be the size that he is, and to talk the way he talks and do the things he does, you have to have a mindset. You have to be able to manipulate the game. And so he does that very well. And so you just add all those things into what he is and into this team. Like, that's what this team needed. Like, it sucks, because you think you have a Giannis, a Chris, a Dane, all these but they're so mild-mannered. Like, yeah, we know he mean mugs, and he does, but we just have the most mild-mannered type of guys that just, like, when is the last time you seen Giannis get in something, like he ran after a basketball, but you still have those dogs
about the game. Yeah, he don't have it. Like, I'm just gonna call it. He don't have, and that's okay, because we don't necessarily need him to. What I like about Pat Bev is he brings black Air Force One energy. That's what he brings to this locker room, right? He brings them black Air Force Ones. Those of y'all who don't know about the significance of that, go ahead and look it up. Go ahead and comment. Yeah, work this thing on out. And I like that, because if you think about the combination of him and Crowder, Crowder to a lesser extent, but Crowder has a little bit of that in him too. But you talk about that and kind of that toughness, especially in that guard room or the perimeter players room. I think that's important. Another thing that I never thought about the other night when we talked about this Patrick Beverly trade. Is it possible that Patrick Beverly helps mentor Andre Jackson Jr.? Kind of shows him, hey, let me teach you how to be this scrappy defensive player, because you already got the potential and the tools to be there. And is it possible that Patrick Beverly mentors Andre Jackson Jr. to the point where Andre Jackson Jr. gets a spot back in this rotation at some point? Maybe, right? Like, maybe, based on looks of personnel and matchup too. But I say that because I never looked at Patrick Beverly as a mentor, because I never knew that. But there's so much that all of these guys can learn from him. And I was just seeing that tonight.
Yeah, this is definitely something that could work for this Bucks team. But also, I just want to know if obviously he didn't play much tonight because it is a blowout. But I want to know if that offense can kind of come around a little bit and see if he can actually give us that consistent 6 to 10 or whatever he can give you on the offensive side of the ball, because he's not bad on offense. Like, he's not going to be a guy who's a go-to to get a bucket, but he is a guy who can maybe knock down some open shots. So I would just be just kind of I'm going to keep an eye on whether he can provide any offense off the bench.
I think that's a good point, Chris. Yeah, and the thing about the Bucks is you look at the gravity that Giannis pulls people to the paint, and you look again the year Malik Beasley's having. Yeah, he's going to like when Pat Beverly's on the court with Giannis, he's going to get open shots and open looks. And so yeah, can you knock a couple of those down? Yeah, that would 100% be great. So Els Tana has a point. He says PJ's overrated again. So oh man, I'm gonna try to keep myself contained here. PJ overrated. That is the craziest comment. Let me tell you, the Bucks have been but the Bucks have been through 3 coaches because they didn't keep PJ Tucker. That's why Bud couldn't keep them guys contained. Probably maybe they win a championship the year after, but after they won, maybe they would have went back to back. I don't know, but Bud couldn't keep this team under control. Adrian Griffin didn't have a locker room. You're on your 3rd coach now. One of those reasons is because, and I truly believe because PJ Tucker's not in this, because PJ Tucker's not in the locker room. So that was not retaining him was 100% clearly a mistake. This is the thing I noticed about was the crowd was great, something we've been missing. And then Elms comes back and says, "What the hell are you guys talking about? We played an empty Hornets. Chill." Well, you know who we played last week? An empty Portland Trailblazers. He says, or he or she, Elms says, out with the Pat Bev changed everything talk. I like Pat Bev, but this is too much. We had our starters back. You know where the starters were back? Against the Portland Trailblazers. And you know what we did? Got our ass whooped. And so instead of getting our ass whooped against Portland tonight, we took the belt to asses tour. And that's what started. Listen, you guys were people. I'm not saying you guys. People were late on the PJ Tucker train. They didn't realize the impact PJ Tucker had. It's not going to be in the stat sheet. It's not going to be all the time, but you're going to see it. And I'm telling you, you're tripping. Patrick Beverly is a game changer, impact guy. And it may not show all the time in the stat sheet, but he's going to impact the game with his energy and his tenacity and his focus and his hustle. I don't know. Again, I don't know what you guys are watching, but I'm telling you, it was apparent tonight that the energy and the air around his team was different.
Well, one thing I want to be clear on too, because when people talk about PJ being overrated, listen, I get that from looking at the stat sheet and looking at that and seeing PJ now, looking at him in LA rotting, looking at him when he went to the Sixers rotting, right? I see that. But if you're a true Bucks fan who watched that 2021 team play, you saw the value PJ brought to the table. You 100% saw how he uplifted the spirits of this team, turned them to a tougher team at a pivotal point, literally changed the trajectory of this team. There's no question about that with what PJ Tucker did. All right, so that's one thing. The second thing, you guys talked about Pat Beverly in offense. Look, I think his career average is somewhere around 8 or 9 points per game. And but the interesting thing is he attempts about 4 threes a game, and I believe, is a career 38% 3-point shooter, right? So offensively, I'm not going to ask Pat Beverly to do anything more than what he's been doing for his entire career. And if he can give us that, I think that's going to be meaningful. I 100% think that's enough. That's enough for him on the offensive side of the ball, right? Because he's going to give us more than anybody else on the perimeter is going to get on defensively, right? Except for maybe Crowder, but I think he may be a little bit better defender than Jay Crowder. I do want to make those points. But Trey, the belts to ass tour started. We got our day one. Yeah. We got our day one. I love this energy. And no, I don't think Pat Beverly's coming and changed everything, but I certainly think that we're going to see Pat Beverly's impact much sooner than later. And we kind of saw that tonight already. I don't care who the hell they put out there. I think it really would have went the same. Honestly, I think it probably would have went the same way if the Hornets had they started.
Dog, this man did a fake ejaculation on Steve Clifford after he hit a 3.
Yeah,
the energy's different, dog. I don't know what the energy's different. Like the energy's different. It just is. I don't know what to tell you.
No, you're not. You showing your ass now, Pat.
Exactly.
Now you're showing your ass.
But you're showing when you whip it, when you going belts to asses. That's what you're doing. You're showing it. I like it. And that's what this team needed. Somebody who don't give a damn.
Yeah.
I need somebody who don't care.
But I also think that it's kind of like the Midwest mentality a little bit. Like he grew up in Chicago. Like this is a team that wasn't too far from him where he was raised and stuff. That's what we're about in the Midwest. I'll speak for us because you guys aren't. Y'all ain't from here. But I do think that there's a little bit of familiarity there in terms of just a gritty team and what the Milwaukee Bucks are supposed to be. And I think Pat Bev, just being in Chicago and growing up there and also playing for the Bulls and stuff and playing in the same division, I think that, I don't know. But I think, I did too. But I think that's what Pat Bev is about, and that's what he's ready to bring to Milwaukee. And I don't think that he doesn't want to be here. Like, I think he's actually ecstatic to be here. I think he's excited to play alongside Giannis. I think he's excited to try to get a ring.
He's just a dog, man. He's an absolute dog. I love it. King of Kings says Pat Bev is going to bring leadership, energy, and so much. John Hassel says only problem is Pat Bev nor Beasley are going to be able to guard Tatum or Brown. I agree with you, John, but here's the thing, and here's what I do think Doc Rivers is going to do. Doc Rivers has already shown he started already. Giannis is going to get one of those matchups, like for some portion of the game, and that's been what I know that Mike Budenholzer was scared to do. I know people have been afraid to do it. I think when the game gets on the line, if Giannis is not in foul trouble, you're going to put him on those wings. You're going to put him on the Jimmy Butlers. You're going to put him on the Jason Tatums or the Jaylen Browns, that type of a player, and he's going to make an impact. So I think that has always to me been the difference. Mike Budenholzer did it in 2021 against Jimmy Butler and then didn't go back to it for some odd reason. In last year's series against Miami, you got to be able to trust Giannis to play defense. And that, again, I do think Doc Rivers will do that. Kylan Racine says it's Friday and it was the Hornets. Y'all should just take the night off. Listen, we're the hardest working men in sports entertainment right now. We're not taking the night off. I do think we'll talk about what we're gonna do next week. But yeah, we're not taking the back-to-backs off. Bucks playing, the Bucks were playing, we playing. Y'all are watching the show. We gotta give it to the people, man. We gotta give it to the people. Green Ranger says nice for a game to be over at halftime. And then before we get to Thanasis, I do want to answer Kylan Racine's question. He says, serious question, can the Bucks win the title this year? I don't know if it's gonna take long to answer that. But I'll give you guys the floor since Kyle asked a question that we kind of talked about, and but again, this new iteration of team, like this is the team. There may be a buyout guy or something coming, down the line, but I don't know what the impact's going to be. But this is essentially the main roster. Can the Milwaukee Bucks win a championship?
The short answer is yes. The Bucks certainly can win a championship. The longer answer is what needs to. The longer answer would be, or the more difficult question is what needs to happen for the Bucks to win a championship. Because listen, they have the talent and the pieces to do so. I truly think that's the case. The issue is, we talked about the biggest trade 6 months before the deadline, and Damian Lillard. We need Dame to look like Hall of Fame Dame. That's what we need, Dame. We need Dame to look like top 75 Dame. We need our role players to show up consistently. We're going to need Chris Middleton to be healthy. We're going to need everything we've got, but I certainly think we can. I 100% think we can come out of the East. There's no question about that. Now, will that happen? Who knows, right? You got injuries in there. You may have some more roster turnover. You may see, but yeah, I think the Bucks. I think this team. The short answer is yeah. I think this team can win a championship. There's no question about that.
Well, I think they can certainly win a championship too. I mean, when you have this type of core and this type of starting five, which you're not going to go deep into your bench in the playoffs, which has been one of our biggest concerns in the regular season, is just how this bench really can't perform. But if you can find that sweet spot, about 8 or 9 players, maybe 7 or 8 of guys that can really give you a chance and play more minutes than they do get in the regular season, and in higher stakes games just show up, then I think this team definitely has a shot. And I honestly think that, yes, there is a lot of talent in the East, but I honestly think that it's pretty much between Boston and Milwaukee. I don't think New York has the superstar power to compete with either of us. I don't think Miami is good enough. I don't think they've been good enough in the past couple of years. I just think that they've gotten pretty lucky. So, yeah, I mean, I think that there's no other threat than the Boston Celtics at this point, maybe Indiana. But other than that, yeah, I think the Bucks have a chance to get –
They've won 15 in the last 16.
They have, but ultimately that's kind of a similar situation with New York. Is I don't think that they have the superstars that can compete on a consistent level with the Milwaukee Bucks. So, yeah, I'm not scared of the East, and I'm certainly not scared of whoever comes out of the West. Maybe Denver. That's pretty much it. I mean, if you match up with a team like OKC, you're torching them in the finals. You match up with the Clippers, I think you torch them in the finals too. So ultimately, I think this Bucks team, in terms of the rotation that they'd play in the playoffs, I think they're a lot not deeper, but just better personnel than a lot of these teams. It's just about if they can figure it out over the course of the regular season.
John, well, speaking of the Knicks, John, they saying that DiVincenzo averaging last like 5 games. He averaging like 26 and 7 or something like.
Oh, Dante
He
going crazy.
Hey, what they say? It's Black History Month for Dante DiVincenzo.
Hey, right, that's right. That's right. Listen, y'all
Dante going crazy. Black History.
Look, and I'm not knocking any of our guys. Y'all think Dante get his haircut at Sport Clips?
No, sir.
Damn well Dante
no,
get his haircut. Y'all know.
He was in Milwaukee. He was a G.
Right, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Right, Right. I mean, come on now. Dante rocking a temple taper. Now you got to be from a certain. You got a certain friend group to be rocking haircuts like that. Come on now, Dante. No,
isn't he from like Delaware or some crazy state? Yeah, I think he is.
My favorite part about Dante is the fact that it's the whole like 2 names thing. Because you hear Dante, you think of one thing. You see last name of DiVincenzo. Okay, you like, all right, look, whatever I was thinking, that ain't it. Then you see him show up, and you like, hey, wait a minute. Like,
he's from Newark, Delaware, so
completely different direction. But hey.
Yes, he's balling out. So yeah, it's interesting to watch. Let's see a couple more. Samuel J. Larson says B2A tour. And then
put that on the shirt. Put that on the shirt.
Underdog, put that on a t-shirt.
Seriously, Bucks should sell B2A tour in the pro shop.
I think. Well, Pat actually might have that. I think Pat might have that. Something to do with that. He might have that trademark.
He better hand over that license.
So you gonna hand it over?
You've been on so many teams in the past couple of years. I mean, what kind of value are you getting for it? Everybody got it.
Listen, you telling me if the Belts didn't put a BTA tour, if the Bucks put a BTA tour,
go crazy
on every seat in the Fiserv Forum, that them shirt fans would be swinging them shirts, people would be rocking it, that whole vibe, right?
It would go, it would absolutely be crazy. Sam J. Larson also says PJ was awesome during the Bucks championship run. Bev is PJ light. Valerie O says facts. PJ was an instant impact, and so was Pat Bev. And then Charles Miller says Bucks are 21-2 when Damian Lillard scores 26 or more. We absolutely need him to have good games. So yeah, no, all of that very valid and true. Let's keep rolling. Like I said, we are going to keep this one short tonight. So we're not going to not do the show completely, Kyle, but we are going to keep it a little short for you. Did you guys see? Go ahead. What?
Tomorrow morning.
Yes,
we are off tomorrow morning. We will not be live.
No only T's and Q's tomorrow. I want to talk about Thanasis. So a couple of things I want to get on Thanasis. So there's been a couple things. One, the game the other night against the Timberwolves, when Thanasis came into the game, apparently the commentator said the Bucks are waving the white flag. Thanasis has entered the basketball game. And some Bucks fans, some people took offense to, it has become like this running joke. Like, there's some popular accounts on Twitter that are run, that have like Thanasis is like one of the only players I know that has like an entire lowlights. He has a lowlights like video on Twitter of just like crazy things that happen when he gets in the basketball game. There's what's that guy, Worldwide Wob or whatever, that's like always, he's pretty big on Twitter, and he's always tweeting about Thanasis when he comes into the game. So it was, and as soon as Thanasis gets in tonight, he misses a 3, he airballs a 3 or something, and Marcus Johnson of the Bucks broadcast brings it up. Man, I was hoping he was gonna make that because that's another low light shot, and like, so clearly like the Bucks know about this, like this is clearly a thing. And then of course he comes again tonight. He does a sham guy. He scores a couple buckets. He has some nice moments. I guess I want to ask you this on Thanasis, and then the other piece is Thanasis got more minutes than Marjon Beauchamp. So I thought that was interesting too. But I want to ask you about Thanasis. Like, do you think? And again, with all the talk that has continued to ramp up about him, from opposing announcers to just random people to even from the Bucks, like, do you think it's time that, again, he's 31 now, Is it time for Giannis to let this thing go? Brooke Lopez had to let go of Robin Lopez. Robin was reading a book. And they had during the game. I've literally never seen somebody read a book for an entire game. That was crazy to me. But
that's because Sacramento. The wild part is Sacramento just waved that man without a physical. It was like, no, we good. They just they traded him, and it was like, we don't even want you to step foot in the building, bro. We good.
But yeah, I want to ask you guys, like, what do you think it's time that is it should Giannis be forced to, hey, we got to have this roster spot, dog. Sorry. Does John Horst have that conversation with him?
I just don't think that the one roster spot, the spot he occupies, is going to make a material difference in this team. I mean, I'm assuming it could, but, no, I just don't think it's worth forcing the issue. From a basketball perspective, sure. Why is it? From a basketball perspective, that man plays very little and he could literally end up on Shackton every single time. Every single time he touches the court, there's no question about that. But I mean, from a basketball perspective, it's like the 15th man slot or 14th man slot. You're not expecting anything from him. I'm assuming probably talks and communicates in a way to Giannis, in a way that, sometimes maybe nobody else can or can't. Probably stabilizes him, so you understand that, right? It's a little bit like, I don't want to say Udonis Haslem in Miami when he wasn't giving you nothing, but he was just that locker room guy. He was there. Maybe that's kind of like the Thanasis status with this team as of right now. He's an energy guy. I think he does probably some great things off the basketball court, but I feel like if we're begging for Thanasis spot, we got bigger issues if we're begging to get something out of that spot.
And I just say that because before you go, Chris, I just say because Chris was yelling at us the other night. Was yelling at me the other night because he's telling me about all the misses that John Horst has, and there's a whole spot John Horst can't even use to try to find somebody like you say, like an AJ Green and Sam Merrill, one of those end the bench guys that maybe turns into something. I agree. Is it good? Would it help you today? No, that spot's not going to help you win a championship. No. But could it be a developmental spot where a couple years down the line you have a guy that you could use? 100%. You could look up into somebody or see somebody that could be using that spot, and instead, it's cheerleader.
Trey, let me just make this point before Chris goes. If you look at how we've done things, we have one of the best examples of player development in the history of North American sports in Giannis. Looking at where he's drafted, looking at how well he did, right? And you know what we've done when it comes to player development after that? Absolutely zero. So no, I don't want to hear anything about a spot open for a guy that can maybe develop or anything. Absolutely not. That's not what we do, man. And quite honestly, what you want to do, have another sweated up rookie out there that's not going to do nothing, is going to stink and then be gone in a year or two. Like, we don't develop players
but it could be a guy again. So but it could be, because again, so Sam Merrill could be a guy who you trade and you could get somebody back. Because again, Sam Merrill right now is in Cleveland. I use that example all the time. He's in Cleveland right now as a rotational player. Yeah, you could have used somebody like that. Maybe at this deadline, if you had a guy like that, you could have traded him away and got something back because you had a value spot there. I'm just asking the question.
Trade for every Sam Merrill, there's a Jordan Nora and a Bryn Forbes. Guys ain't worth a damn.
And you were able to trade Jordan Nora as well, and you were able to use Jordan Nora to get another piece as well.
You could probably trade any of these guys. You could probably trade them. Now, what you're gonna get back, I have no idea. But you could probably. You telling me somebody not gonna give you something for Marjan? Somebody will give you something, and I mean something more than a sandwich. You get something more than a sandwich from Marjan.
Yeah,
Somebody may even give you a late one.
Exactly, and right. And so I'd love to have another guy that I may be able to throw in a bit and get something else for him. But I got to keep. I'm just asking the question because you're forced to keep Thanasis, and again, this is what happens to. All right, my bad, Chris. Go ahead.
Well, it has to be after the season at least. I mean, especially if you don't win it, you've got to. There has to be some tough conversations held between either Horst and Giannis, or Horst and just Thanasis in itself, to where, look, we need this other roster spot to see if we can get somebody who can impact the game.
I just don't understand this. Like, do we need that roster spot?
I'm asking. Well, clearly you need spots, or you want spots, because you just saw John Horst waive Robin Love. Well, traded him and then Sacramento waived him to clear up a roster spot. So these spots are in like these GMs do want these spots to use for things, and yeah, the Bucks are not able to do that. And Karan Jamar Kenner is in the chat and says we traded Sam Merrill for Grayson Allen. That was a clear win. So I don't remember the deal that got Grayson Allen, but if that's the deal, if Sam Merrill was responsible for the Grayson Allen year, and Grayson Allen was a big time shooter for the Bucks for a couple years. He's having a real good year in Phoenix too. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. Like that's a big time upgrade that you're able to do. That you may be able to throw a piece in and get somebody back of value. That's huge. If that's exactly how that went down, I don't remember if that's how we got Grayson Allen though. But
yeah, because we got Grayson from Memphis, right?
Yeah, no, that is how it went down.
That is, right, yeah, because Sam Merrill went to Memphis. So that is a great example, Karan KJK. That is a great example. That's what I'm talking about. 15th guy, and I turn him into a rotational piece. That's all. I'm just asking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
I need more, right? Because that's like the one highlight that you got from all these guys that we've had in camp that we've gotten out of here in the last few years. I mean, maybe we can think of one more example, but for the most part, we're not developing players. It's not what we do.
Yeah,
that's just not how we get down in Milwaukee. Side note, y'all catch Pat Bev with the Miller Lite at the press conference?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, hey Pat Bev again. He's showing his ass. He had the Miller Lite at the press conference. The best part about it is, I just kind of feel like, yo, you telling me that can't be an Old English? You telling me Pat Bev is not going to show up with the 40 at some point? I can 100% see that man with the 40 in the bag at the press conference. But man, shout out to Pat Bev.
Well, I'll say this though, but just to kind of end on Thanasis, if you're going to get rid of him, the best time to do it is after this season if you don't win the finals, because look, you're going to have 2 picks in the draft, and you have a roster spot for a guy that can take that salary no matter who you pick in the draft, that will not be asking for more money than that. And you can keep a guy. Obviously, we don't develop him, but if you find a diamond in the rough, then you have a guy who can contribute right away, and or maybe not right away, but somebody that can work into your rotation, work into the fold. So, yeah, I feel like he's made enough money in this league. I feel like we've kept Giannis happy enough to sign that extra contract, and you don't need to have his happiness all the way up now.
Well, you can still have it up. Put him on the staff.
Put him on the staff.
And sit him. He can sit in the same spot right behind the bench. He sits beside. No problem. Put him on the bench. Put him on the staff.
That's what I think your best case scenario is going to have to be. Is you're going to have to keep him around in one way, shape, or form around basketball ops. And I do agree, it's easier. It's much easier to give him some sort of cushy, player liaison position or wherever, right? Coach, I don't know about.
You can run the popcorn stand.
Something in the front office. There's no question about that, right? And like. Because I think the bond, the last thing you need to do is, piss off Giannis with something as easy as just keeping his brother around, right? Like so I would agree with that. The question is, does Thanasis want to play, right? Because where it gets ugly is if the Bucks want to get rid of him, he wants to play. He doesn't want to take some cushy job. He doesn't want to be a podcaster, right? Like a full-time podcaster. He doesn't want to do that. He wants to play and he wants to be around the game of basketball and he actually wants to touch the court. Then you got a problem, because then that's when, all right, well, do you keep him? Do you try to trade him? Do you try to send him somewhere else? I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that's worth it. It's the fight worth picking in the long run.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's it's either here or there. It's not going to change the end of this year, but we'll see what happens at the end and see if there's if this is the last run for Thanasis. Read a couple Twitter comments and then we'll get to the game balls here. At He Manses says Pat responded to not getting traded by playing solid for a good 2 minutes before he went right back down the toilet. Either Doc sees something in practice that we don't, or Doc is in serious need of enlightenment because this guy is done, finished, cooked, worthless. It's a wrap. The fat lady left the building. What on earth are we waiting for to pull the plug on this guy? Play Marjan, play more AJ, whatever you got to do. He's a liability on both ends of the floor. It's over with him. At Brat Tat says, come April, with how old this team is and with no bench, they'll be gassed and get run over in the playoffs. Oh, you know what? That was from last night's game. Why did somebody comment on last night's game? My bad. Okay. Hold on. I got to find
yesterday. I was like,
yeah, that was a comment from last night. My bad. Rated R Nuke 414. So I'm on tonight's thread. Says Pat Bev in the 94 feet. I was like, damn, that was a crazy comment to come tonight. Pat Bev in the 94 feet might be the same level of change PJ was for the Bucks. He's getting in guys' faces and makes them hoop. As far as the game, we did what we were supposed to do to a terrible team. Let's continue to get healthy. At Rico Tan says swag is back. That's it. Printed. Now let's go after the top half of the league. And then do one more. True Bucks fan 78 says Pat Bev played for Doc for 3 years, knows his defense in and out, isn't scared to get on a player's ass and put the team in the correct defensive areas to be effective. Pat Bev came in and the defense took off. This is a huge signing just for defensive purposes. So again, everybody, man, a lot of people talking about ass today, man. Just putting belts to ass,
cheeks.
Not scared to get on people's ass. Enoch Cheeks was ass. How did he play?
He was good. He was good. Foul trouble, but he was good tonight. You can't complain about the Cheeks at any point.
Well, I'm waiting for the pause. I know it's coming.
Yeah. So anyway, so good. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff there. With like I said, man, it is what it is. Listen, everybody's feeling. I'm feeling good on a 120 to 84 win. Let's do some game balls. JT, Chris, where you going with game balls?
I'm gonna give my game balls going to my man Malik Beasley, and the reason being is that it's a way to bounce back after an absolutely abysmal night last night. Malik Beasley comes back, right? Has a strong performance. Right? Again, 7 for 9, 21 points. 7 for 9 from 3. 2 rebounds, 2 assists. I'm gonna get this thing to Malik Beasley tonight. Definitely thought he redeemed himself.
Let me see. I guess I'll give it to Dame because we've been kind of hard on him, and they did say we win a lot of games with him scoring 26 to 30 points. So, I'll give it to Dame. I think obviously he didn't shoot well from the 3, but I think just the impact that he has, and we recognize that from the past couple of losses without him. So, I'll give it to Dame.
I'm gonna give it to the guy we've been talking about, man. In 12 minutes, put up 6 points, 4 assists. But the impact, just the energy that he brought to the arena, into the team, I'm gonna give it to Pat Beverly, and I think that that momentum will carry on. So Pat Beverly gets my game ball tonight. And then let's go around the league and talk about what happened in the NBA. Right now, the Kings are up over the Nuggets. They're about to start the third, 67-57. The Lakers are up on the Pels, 52-47. 76ers lose again. And talk about the trade. How about your boy Cam Payne put up 20 in his debut in Philly? He had 26 assists and 3 boards. The Philadelphia 76ers do lose. No Maxey, no Embiid. 127-121. The Sixers just continue to reel. I don't know where they're going to finish in the standings because that team is not good. They're 2-8 in their last 10. They've lost 4 in a row. They could easily find themselves in the 6th. It's going to be interesting to see where they end up falling, and then when Embiid gets back. So that's going to be a very interesting matchup. Whoever ends up in either, maybe a 6-3 matchup or a 7-2 matchup. Well, they may be in the playing games. I don't know. Raptors beat the Rockets tonight. The Celtics hold on to beat the Wizards 133-129. KJK in the chat says, how about a game ball for Doc? Well, you could have gave him one, but he still got to get up for that from that 2-5 record.
Yeah,
whatever.
Doc in the hole right now.
Yeah. Hey, look,
I can't give you credit for doing what you're supposed to do.
You beat the Denver Nuggets on Monday night. I will give Doc Rivers a game ball for that 100%. Yeah. So again, I guess the only other thing to talk about is again, so the Bucks will play again on Monday against the Denver Nuggets. But again, everybody's gonna talk about. I guess I got to get your thoughts. What happens Sunday evening around 6:30 Eastern? Chiefs and 49ers. Take your shot. Who's winning the game?
I'm gonna start with Chris.
Like I said, and I've been on this for pretty much the whole postseason. It's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I'll go with the Chiefs. I just think that they really started to figure it out towards the end of the season with their defense, and then with some of the weapons that they have on offense, and who they really want to prioritize and being their guys. And I think Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce is picking it up, and Pacheco is just a dog too. So definitely discouraged about the 49ers with what they showed, at least in the first half against the Lions. So if they come out remotely like that, I think the Chiefs cruise. If not, I'm still putting my money on Patrick Mahomes. So I think the Chiefs.
So I'm going to take the opposite. I think this 49ers team is very, very, very well-rounded, incredibly talented. I would argue that if Brock Purdy comes out and even looks like the top 10 quarterback that he clearly is at this point, We can have this argument. Yeah, but if Brock Purdy comes out and looks like that, listen, we can run through that 10. And you telling me that Brock don't belong in one of them space 7, 8, 9, 10? Yes, he 100% does. He 100% does. He's better than Justin Herbert. And everybody talking about him being top 10.
Okay, I'm
yes,
done.
he is.
I'm done.
Okay,
I'm done.
Nah,
listen,
I'm not even gonna have a conversation.
How's he not better than Herbert? Herbert has more talent. Brock Purdy is a better QB. I mean, okay. Yes, it is. Because Herbert ain't there yet. We've been talking about this. We've been talking about what's everybody say about Justin Herbert every year? Oh, he's gonna be nice this year. He's gonna break out. Justin Herbert gonna be nice. Okay, what's he do? Get out there, stink it.
Their GM is like John Horst. They can't draft any talent, so it's kind of tough for him. They drafted the TCU wide receiver who's just awful.
You have one of the best wide receivers in football over damn near the last.
Nah, he's not.
Keenan Allen's not.
Ain't he hurt every? Ain't he hurt? He out 5 weeks a year at least every year.
He had 1,300 yards this year. What he had 1,300 yards this year?
Because they've been down every game. They've been losing every game.
Now they gotta throw the ball to him. Come on, man.
Playing right.
They'd be losing by like 30 at halftime every game.
I am stunned. I am stunned at this right now. You telling me Keenan Allen is not one of the best wide receivers in the league? Come on.
No, not.
Yeah, he's
not
very
top
good when
5 though.
When he's healthy.
Like not.
I didn't say top 5. I said he's one of the best.
Calvin Racine says coaching is real. That's another point. Yeah, coaching. Yeah, they lose them games because they got an idiot out there going for it on fourth down at your own 25-yard line every game. That's stupid.
Well, that's because Dan Campbell and him was in, and this is my problem with. And here we're completely off the rails at this point. This is my problem with data and analytics crowd. They talk about like data. At some point, it's football. You got a basic football knowledge here. Kick the damn field goal. I don't care what the damn analytics tell you, because if you don't get it, you're stuck. Like, I just don't understand that. And that's what did in Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley and Dan Campbell might be on his way with the foolishness.
Yep. Just got a little stupid. I'm gonna take the Chiefs, man. I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes. He gonna do what he does. And again, just I don't want to say the script is written, but you know how it is. Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, they get married at halftime.
Hey, halftime is crazy. At least wait till the end result.
Man,
no way you propose at halftime.
I am offended at the shit y'all saying about your boy Keenan Allen. Y'all wilding right now. That man is definitely one of the best wide receivers
I'm
in the NFL
offended
since 2013.
I'm offended that you said that Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback.
He is. All
right.
Run to that list.
I'm probably gonna get through 15 before I get to 10.
Go ahead. Run tell me that top 10 right now.
I get through 15. No, I'm not gonna do it right now. I get through 15. I get through 15. Who's better, Brock Purdy or Dak Prescott?
Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy.
No.
And here's why. And here's why. When it comes down to nuts and bolts, right? I just thought right. When the rubber meets the road here, and you need your quarterback to uplift that team, we've seen Brock Purdy now do that in the playoffs. 2 straight times. How many times you seen Dak Prescott do that?
I'm just telling you. I don't know. How
many times? Dak Prescott, Cowboys was getting their cheeks clapped against the Packers.
Right. Again, because people made mistakes. Kick field goal, Brock Purdy's to the house.
Well, I'll probably take Jordan Love over Brock Purdy.
I'll take Jordan Love over Brock Purdy right now, too. I'll take Jordan Love over Brock Purdy right now, too.
Jordan Love's a top 10 QB in the league. What are we doing?
Okay, but there's definitely 15 others. There's definitely 15 others.
What are we doing?
If all I got to do is throw screens and slants all day, I'll be fine. I'm damn near top 15.
You're not saying anything grounded. Oh, but you know what the difference is? All you got to do is throw screens and slants. But I need you to go win the game for me in the last 5 minutes. Can Jordan Love do it? And not in the playoffs. You can't do it in the playoffs. Brock Purdy can. You got to put some respect on that. Y'all are playing.
But his defense created turnovers for him.
That's great. But in that last 5 minutes, when it's time to go win, right? Can he march down the field and take you there? That's all I'm asking. Right? And what does that mean?
Give me Ayuk, Debo, on the Packers, and I think he'll be able to do it easily.
Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah. But again, right? Oh, that's nice. Except for what Brock Purdy do that last game when it was time? He ran it. He said, "Oh, you know what? Look here. I'm gonna go ahead and get this with my legs too. I'm gonna show you something." Listen, I know it's not pretty with Brock Purdy, and quite honestly, there was a reason why he was the last pick in the draft. But y'all got to put some respect. That man, no. He is that good, and I didn't see it. I was in denial for a long time.
Yeah, I'm still
denying. Something to be said about Brock Purdy.
Just because you wanted 10, Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, Hurts, Josh Allen, Prescott, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert.
Stroud.
That's where the debate starts. That's Tua. Tua. Oh, okay. Tua.
Stroud. Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford. Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
Trevor. Okay, so now this is now turning to a game where you're just gonna name any QB you can think of. And go ahead, throw out Jacoby Brissett. Just name whatever QB you can think of. What's Gardner Minshew? Go ahead, keep going with the nonsense.
Joe Flacco.
Keep going with the nonsense. Cordell Stewart. I know you want to throw out Cordell. Cordell, go out. Cordell. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I'm just saying. I'm not. I can't get into
this. Throw out Sam Howell. Come on, man. No. Keep this mess up.
Right. Anyway, Patty Mahomes is winning this game on Sunday. Just book
Absolutely.
it. Just book it.
Colin Racine says, Trey, if we had a decent coach, Bryce would have been way better. I agree. I'm calling my shot. We're gonna talking about the Chargers. We're gonna get Austin Eckler's gonna be in Carolina Panthers next year. So.
Why would he do that? I don't think Austin Eckler gets past Kansas City. To be honest, to me it seems like that.
He's in Carolina.
That's a perfect fit for him to go to a team like the Chiefs.
Wow, I keep Pacheco.
Does Carolina have any money? Carolina has money. They're like $40 million cap space, right?
I don't think we got 40. We got like 28, but we can. Well, it depends, and it depends on what we do with our guys. So we got to resign.
What I think y'all should do is just trade
I would
that.
Trade Burns.
I would trade
Brian
Burns. Because if somebody's gonna give you 2-1s with where this team is at, your ability to impact this squad, y'all need to find a damn wideouts. What y'all need to do. What y'all need to do is
yes, and I think it'll either be Higgins or another guy that I've been hearing a lot about, Calvin Ridley. Be a guy that I think
Calvin really be a big pick for y'all.
Cool.
Just got to make sure you don't hit the Prize Picks account and you straight.
Maybe even a guy like Keenan Allen. If they're gonna part ways with him, you bring a guy in like Keenan Allen to help him. Even though I think Adam Thielen's playing that older mentor role, so maybe you get maybe a Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs would be a big. Yeah, that'd be big. That'd be big.
Damn, he would just be throwing
Pittman Jr. for reasonable money could help.
That'd be big. Now, Stephon Diggs would be big if you could do that.
But I tell you, your first priority, as long as he's not crazy, should be Mike Evans. Because that makes a lot of sense.
Evans, yes, with the Tampa Bay guy. Yes. Yeah, Evans, 100%. I'm with you on that, too. I like all that. All right, we're a little off the rails here. So me and Chris got the Chiefs. JT's taking the top 10 Brock Purdy 49ers.
Brock Purdy.
Allegedly.
Dirty Purdy.
Allegedly. All right. Any final words? Bucks win it tonight, fellas. They get to win 120-84 over the Charlotte Hornets. Any final words after a big Bucks win tonight?
Hey, this is how I like this. I love to see it. Right, I love to see it. You gotta. They took care of it. They did what they were supposed to do tonight, and that's all you can ask. So man, let's hope they handle business on Monday. I think a win against the Nuggets would be huge for this Bucks team. That would be a huge win, especially in Doc's tenure at this point.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Chris.
No, you're good. Kyle and Racine said that he's disappointed I put Thanasis in the rundown. I think I was advised by my co-host to put Thanasis. So, but yeah, that sham god was nasty. That was tough. That was tough. I'll give credit where it's due. And then just glad that they were able to finally break that little losing streak and back at the crib getting wins now, and you add Pat Bev into the fold. Look, they just got to figure it out, and ahead of the All-Star break and stuff like that, I think that this is a really good piece to kind of build on.
Yeah, no, it's a big win tonight, and we talked about this, right? We talked about the schedule that the Bucks had coming up and what they needed to do because it is a little bit light, and I just want to go back over it really quick before we take a break, before we get out of here. So before this All-Star break, the 3 games you have left because you took care of business against Charlotte, you got Nuggets on Monday, you got the Heat on Tuesday, you got the Grizzlies on Thursday. I need 2 out of those 3. You give me that, and you're back in business because then you would have won 3 out of 4 headed into going past the All-Star break. And then you're in great shape again because you come back from the All-Star break Okay, you got the Timberwolves, you got the 76ers, no Embiid. You got the and then you got the Hornets on the 27th and the 29th. So you have literally after the break, you come back with Minnesota and then you should win 3 in a row against the Embiidless Sixers and two in a row against the Hornets and then the Bulls. You should go on a 1, 2, 3. You should go on a 4 games. You should win 4 out of 5 coming out of the All-Star break. And so Doc Rivers is going to have an excellent opportunity to get this team back where it needs to be and really get them geared up and reset for a run into March and into the postseason. So again, looking forward to that. Bucks win it tonight, 120-84 over the Charlotte Hornets. Pat Beverly's debut does a great job. A lot of energy. Everything went well. Appreciate all of you for listening and watching the show tonight and joining us on a back-to-back Friday night, spending it with us at the Cream City Crossover. We enjoyed it. We appreciate it. Thank our sponsors, the Law Office of Daley M. Johnson, 608-893-8370. That's the Law Office of Daley Johnson. Get at them for your criminal defense, traffic and OWI defense, TROs, and injunctions. When you need defense, where?
Off the court.
Off the court. You got to call the Law Office of Daley M. Johnson. This has been a Cream City Media Group production. The Guru, Trey Crosby III.
JT.
Chris King.
No, all your T's and Q's tomorrow. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. It helps us. Our subs are going up. Tell a friend to join the Cream City Crossover. Hit that like, hit all that stuff for us. We appreciate it. Hey, don't take no wooden nickels. Courage.